Now, for analysis, let's go to Changhua Wu. She is the chair of the Governing Council of Asia Pacific Water Forum. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today. Now, the latest report by WMO has said that 2024 is on track to be the warmest year on record, a milestone that seems to be replaced each year, mind you. How will COP29 address this?
Thank you for having me on the program, Sally. And it's very important, very significant. We all know we are living in intensifying climate change, and SOS, is already the norm of the day. So more urgent than ever, COP in Baku, leaders need to get together, set more ambitious targets in order to address the intensifying climate crisis there. And this is the one time every year global leaders coming together to really negotiate, to discuss how to pull their acts together to aim higher. And of course, this time around, COP29, the core agenda is about climate finance. And so we're hoping somehow, no matter how difficult it is, the sense of urgency really alerts everyone, particularly from developed regions, so that we'll be able to, they are still willing to put money on the table and to make sure create the rules and, guidebooks so that the global community, particularly the South, will be able to have access to, if not totally adequate, but more climate finance on one side to mitigate the climate change, on the other side to adapt to and resilient actually to the climate change.
And on that point, negotiators are seeking to increase the $100 billion a year target for developing nations. What kind of financing mechanisms are already in place to support the COP vision, and what are negotiators hoping to achieve this time around?
Well, within the Paris Agreement, there has already been financing mechanisms. The popularly known, for instance, global climate finance, the fund actually already operating, which has become more and more important in terms of mobilizing tens of billions of dollars every year to direct financing to developing countries there. But we all know it's not adequate anymore. So for this round, there's much deeper discussion around redesign and global financial architecture, so that besides public financing, we'll be able to mobilize multinational development banks, as well as actually private sector money in particular, to put in the process, working together to scale up the finance that's needed to fight climate change.
Could you talk a little bit about climate technology? What role does it play, and how is China expanding its green tech capacity?
Sure, technology is the key. Yes, we talk about the money, but money needs to be invested in something. On the mitigation side, we need to invest in clean energy transition. If you look at clean energy, we need renewable energy, clean energy, and net zero, lower carbon energy there. So solar, wind, batteries, EVs, equipment, facilities, whatever you name that. We need to build a global supply chain in order to build the technology into it, build up an industrial value chain, and really deliver the product and services that's needed there. China has already become a global leader. There's no doubt about it. China has already been leading global clean energy transition, transformation, particularly look at investment in solar, wind, electric vehicle mobilities, you name it. And China is, undoubtedly the global leader. Very important for China for this round is to discuss with other partners around the world how to utilize China's advantages, particular strength in terms of the industrial value chains, so that we'll be able to work together to really accelerate the clean energy transition to fight climate change.
In terms of global leadership, how will the re-election of Donald Trump, who has threatened to roll back the United States carbon cutting commitments, affect these sorts of ambitions, especially given if the biggest polluter in the world isn't meeting targets, and how are other economies expected to do so?
Well, globally, I think the COP29 is already clouded by the political change in the United States already. So that's really, devastating, disappointing. Now, from the U.S. perspective, as the world's largest economy and historically the largest emitter, there were three things actually is really doing damage to the global climate process. One is really, investing in this drill, baby drill, and really advocating oil and gas, fossil fuel development. That's first thing. The second thing, actually, really canceling its due contribution, financial contribution to the global process, particular climate fund. U.S. has already been lagging behind for this round. We all know Trump said already he's going to cancel any funding actually channeled to support global climate change there. And now, of course, if you look at the development, the multilateral process, the U.S., without U.S. there, is already going to be very destructive and sort of dampening in a way to the global process. Yes, the global community will continue to work together, but without U.S. in it, it's going to be a very different landscape. That's really disappointing.
Given this huge group of global leaders all gathering for these climate meetings, you know, we're talking countries, some at wars, geopolitical tensions rife. Many are asking, what is the point of COP29 and can anything be achieved at all?
Well, that's the reality we had to face, and the scientists are telling us. And climate, we continue, will continue to warm our planet. And if you look at extreme weather events, we are suffering more. If you look at loss and damages, actually, we are, which are taking away actually the growth we aspired to have already. And we all know, and if temperature continues to rise, and the consequences will be even more destructive, devastating. So it's no longer just the why climate change, rather climate security is already national security and planet security. And without that piece of the puzzle, yes, we could continue investing in fossil fuels, but somehow the losses and damages probably in the end we won't be able to bear.
All right, Changhua Wu, we'll have to leave it there. Really appreciate your time on the program today.
Thank you.